What's good, people? It's your boy Post Up, and you already know I'm rocking with State of Gaming, representing State of Gaming. Thank you guys for supporting the platform. If you can, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified every time that we go live. Also, hit the like button. It really helps with the algorithm and promoting this platform that we're trying to build here. I just want to take some time out and give you guys an update. A lot of things happened in February with the Microsoft Activision acquisition. And then now we're going into March, which is a critical next 2 months between March and April, because now we're getting down to the finish line to see what determination or what outcome is going to come based on Microsoft position, their lobbying, and their lawyers fighting on the behalf of the merger to go through, and then Sony and others lobbying and their lawyers against the merger and trying to block it, okay? But I want to give you all an update over the last 10 days or so, and shout out to IDOS for Reset Error for pulling all this information together, okay? Now, we know February 17th, we found out there was some concerns from a third party in China, okay? I think it was one or two companies, if I'm not mistaken. We know Tencent and a couple of other companies in China are for the deal, okay? February 20th, UNI, a global union, right, federation in 150 countries and representing 20 million workers, is in favor of the deal. So I think that is great. Another union that is huge around the world is for the deal going through. Now, February 21st, the EU hearing, right? Microsoft announces an agreement with NVIDIA and formalized one with Nintendo. I think this was huge. I think no one expected the NVIDIA deal to come through, being that their intentions of being there was to side with Sony and Google to block the deal. Okay, so that was very interesting, okay? February 23rd, China expected to approve the deal, according to local lawyers. So they had a couple local lawyers come out and say, look, we think we're hearing that China is going to approve the deal, okay? Even though I think China is in second phase, because Microsoft tried to fast track China, and China say, oh, slow down. We need to look at this, and we need to go through a second phase. I think with that, on top of companies like Tencent and things like that being for the deal, I do think it gets approved, and I do think China conclusion will sort of coincide with the EU, since from jump we assume that China will be waiting on the European conclusion anyway, okay? All right, now February 23rd, again, that same day, we get a new SEC filing from ABK with latest info about legal proceedings regarding the merger. Now, that SEC filing, I know a lot of people didn't hear about it on Twitter or anything like that. I don't think I posted too much about it, but it had a lot of legal information in terms of other cases that the Activision is fighting alongside of this merger. So it's a lot of things going on. I think Sony is fighting on multiple fronts with other court cases as well, especially in federal court with their store policies and restricting retail stores from selling digital games. They got that court battle going on. Microsoft is battling in court with the California federal court with the 10 gamers who filed a lawsuit against this deal to get a preliminary injunction. And then you got ABK that's dealing with multiple cases regarding their work environment. We know about that in terms of the sexual harassment and things like that. So lots going on there for all three companies. I will tell you this: there are a lot of lawyers making a lot of money right now. Makes me think I should have went to law school. But we're gonna keep it. We're gonna keep it moving. February 24th, the statement from the European Game Developers Federation about the EU hearing. Now, the European Game Developers Federation is a big federation in Europe that represents a lot of developers across Europe, and they came out for the deal. They've been vocal about the deal for a while now. They were present at the European Commission hearing that Microsoft attended, along with Sony, Nvidia, Google, and others from multiple countries. Okay, they put out a letter responding to the hearing and pretty much re-cementing themselves being for the deal. Okay, now February 27th, lawyers, we get an article that came out that says lawyers are cautiously optimistic about the deal in Europe. Microsoft could have offered a 10-year license for all Activision Blizzard games. Okay, that's something new. I think that was from Equity Reports, if I'm not mistaken. Came out and said that Microsoft is offering a deal for not just Call of Duty, but for all Activision Blizzard games, okay, over the next 10 years. Now, do that entail even future IP that hasn't been developed yet, new IP and stuff like that? We don't know. But I do think that Microsoft is going to do everything they can to get this deal done, okay? All right. Then we got February 28th. The European Commission Chief Margrethe Vestager says that the EC won't rush a decision on the case. Check it out.
It is taking a huge amount of time, the Microsoft deal. I'm sure you're deeply involved in it. Clearly, a lot of people are very interested in what is happening here. Who are you listening to get a sense of which way you should be proceeding here? There's a lot of lobbying going on. How much of that are you listening to?
Well, it is very important for me to lend an ear to all sides of this. So obviously, I have had meetings with a number of CEOs, not to get the passion of gaming.
Are you so this is a question we wanted to know. Have you ever played any of these games?
I have not. I am a Sudoku person.
Excellent.
So,
okay.
And I can be passionate about that.
Yep.
But I don't share the passion, but I see it. I see it here in Europe when people play FIFA or action game or shooter games, but I'm not there to sense the
yep.
passion. I'm there to sense the facts of the case. And as we always do, what is the present market conditions, how to look into the future. You know, we've had a number of cases where we look at sort of the innovation potential, the innovation rates in a certain market, and that is, of course, what I get. So I try to get the full picture, because we should not be captured by any side of the debate about the effects of a merger.
Talking of sides, the UK CMA, the Competition Markets Authority, came out with a very quick read on the situation. A, were you surprised at the speed at which it produced that view? And B, are we now in a position where authorities such as yours are almost kind of in a race to come out with a view on any particular deal? And how could that ultimately change the M&A landscape?
I think that's a very important discussion, because we cannot be in a race. We need to serve the specific markets where we have jurisdiction, and I also hope that people working with us appreciate that we have a different sort of legal framework. I think in Europe we are the ones with sort of the highest bar, the most sort of heavyweight legal obligations. We need to produce a recent decision that will eventually go public, but that will also have to stand up for very tight scrutiny in court. The UK system is different. The US system is different again. So even when we look at the same transaction with different markets and different legal provisions, sometimes we'll get to different results.
Now, I looked at this video and I really like her approach here in terms of, look, we understand there are passionate people on both sides about the games, about the game market, about their companies in general, and being being able to be competitive in the market. But that's not what we're here for, okay? We're not here to be passionate. We're here to look at the facts, okay? And we're here to look at the market, and the market, take the information from that market, and then draw our conclusion and give our definitive answer, whether it's for it or against it. We're not here to take sides. We're here to listen to all sides, but we're not here to let those sides persuade us. And I think the FTC and the CMA should take note here, since those two regulators seemingly immediately look like they took the side of Sony regarding this merger. Okay, all right. February 28th, that same day, the first remedies proposed by Microsoft to the CMA. So yesterday, Microsoft sent their proposed remedies to the CMA. They have yet to be posted. So we should hear about those over the next couple of weeks. And from there, we're down to the finish line, people. Over the next 2 months, we're going to see whether this deal succeeds or not. And so we're down to the finish line. And I think both companies on both sides have spent a lot of money to get to this point. And so whether it goes through or don't, hey, how that impacts you, that's up to you. How you feel about it is up to you. I'm not here to persuade your feelings or anything like that, but I would like you to comment down below. What's your percentage that you feel in terms of the deal being completed or being unsuccessful? Okay. Now, before I get out of here, I do want to give you key updates. Today is March 1st. Welcome to March. It's beautiful weather outside in Chicago. Today is the last day for Microsoft to respond to the provisional findings from the CMA. Okay. Now, early March 2023, we do, which I said over the next couple of weeks, we're going to have the response hearing with the CMA. Well, Microsoft, they're already in the UK already. So it's coming up. Microsoft is already in the UK, and they're prepped and ready to go to sit down with the CMA for this response hearing. Now, we got to figure out, is this response hearing going to be the same as the one with the recent European Commission hearing, where everybody was there to kind of give their perspective on their particular, the way they view the case. Okay, I'm sorry about that. All right. Also early in March, we're going to get the cutoff point to offer remedies to the European Commission, right? So we got that coming up. And then towards the latter part of this month, responses to the provisional findings and remedies from the CMA will be likely published, okay? So the final, okay? So the findings, so the responses to the provisional findings, meaning I guess Microsoft and Sony and everybody that's involved in this, their responses to the provisional findings, we're going to get that. And then we also going to get the remedies from the CMA will be likely published. I guess the remedies, the final remedies, after looking over everything on what they feel should get this merger pushed through on their side. I do think divesting is a little bit aggressive and a little bit harsh in this case, being that this is a vertical merger, and we usually don't have issues with vertical mergers, but we are in a rather political climate in terms of big tech, so things are looking a little bit different now. April 11, going into April, we get the final decision from the EC, but we're not going to get there. We're just going to roll with March right now, see what we got in this month, see all the things that play out in this month, and then move from there. But I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the channel. I want to thank y'all for supporting the channel. Keep supporting the channel. Like I said, if you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified each and every time we go live. Hit the like button. It really helps support the channel. We got memberships active right now. We're setting up the benefits and things like that for members. We already have 10 members subscribed right now that's supporting the channel from their own volition. So it's really, really incredible. So thank y'all. Have a great day. State of Gaming. Peace.